I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead. We are live. We are live. Come on in the room, people. Come on in the room. Let's get us going. Come in the room. Come in the room. Come in the room. Please like, share, and if you're on YouTube, that notification bell. Start a watch party. Come on in the room. Let your friends know we are here to talk about something that is very prevalent starting this season. Starting this season. So come on in the room. Come on in the room. Giving people a chance to come in the room.
Hello, everybody. Trying to pull up my
Yeah,
little face. I can start a watch party. Let's see if I can do that today.
I know, right? Oh yeah. Okay. Are live. Are live. Come on in the room now, right? Okay.
I think I did it, girl.
Yes, yes. Okay,
Hey.
come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on, you guys. We waiting on you guys. We waiting for you. We're gonna give people a chance to get in the room. Come on, come on, come on in. Um, and we're gonna talk about something that's really prevalent. Come on in the room. Come on, y'all can come in the room too. Come on in the room. Hi. Are you logged in? I am logged in and I'm live. Come on in the room. She said hello. Did you bring my food? Yes, downstairs. Okay. All right. Tell Joe I said hi. Okay. Um, y'all pull us up live now. Do a watch party. Okay. All right, we got to get everybody on board. The household, everybody, everybody.
Who was
Uh,
that?
that was Mariah. She was
Oh, hey,
half.
Ryan.
She just left, went back downstairs. Erica Davis joined. Hey Erica, how you
Hey,
doing?
Erica.
Come on in the room. Hit share, like, um, start a watch party. If you're on YouTube, please go to our YouTube page because this is also airing on YouTube. And hit the notification bell so that you can start to get our videos. Getting people in here, we want to get this information out as wide as we can get it, so people can get this information. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so come on in the room, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Hey, Mariah. Hey, Joanna. Come on in the room. Start a watch party. Invite your friends. There's an a little invite button right there. Invite people to come on in so we can talk about this topic that we're going to talk about. I am Michelle Bird. Welcome to Heads Up Mental Clarity. I am Michelle Bird, along with my bestie, Stephanie,
Hey, y'all.
Stephen. And we are going to be talking about seasonal affective disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. SAD. And
I
it
keep
means
putting
just
calls out of
that.
my hair. Mm-hmm.
It means just that, sad. So we're going to be talking about sad today. So you guys come on in the room, come on in the room, invite people to come in the room, so that we can start talking about this topic. We want everybody to get this information. We want everybody to get this information. This is the time of season. Um, just a little chat for today. I do a meeting on Tuesdays, and a meeting was, you do a high and a low, and my high and my low was the same thing. It's fall. It's fall. So my low is
Pumpkin
that
spice.
it doesn't creep in. It doesn't, like, we don't get 80, 75, 70, 69.
Right.
No, it like bam. It is fall. Get with it.
46 and then 80 tomorrow and then back
Right.
to 46 and
My
staying at
high
40.
about it is that I love the nice sweaters and the boots. I go from flip flops to boots, but the transition is not nice to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to talk about that because our emotions can be just like that. Bam. From it was really sunny and out and nice out, and I was
Yes.
really good time, and I was enjoying the sun, and then bam, all of a sudden it's raining every day. It's gloomy. What's wrong with me? I don't feel all together like I used to. So we're going to talk about SAD. We're going to talk about SAD, and that's seasonal affective disorder. And Stephanie and I are going to talk about that today. So please come on in the room, invite people to come in the room with you. Hi, Mom.
I
Hit,
also want to say that also SAD is also known in layman's term as seasonal depression. So it
yes.
has the same characteristics. So some people may have heard it as seasonal depression. If they haven't heard
Mhm.
SAD, they've heard of seasonal depression.
Yeah,
Someone saying I have seasonal depression.
right. Yes. Thank you for that. Because somebody might say, well, what is seasonal affective disorder? What is that?
Right, right.
Or the winter blues. The winter blues.
Winter blues. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the winter
Similar
blues.
to baby blues.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to talk about that. We're going to define that for you. We're going to talk about what to look for. We're going to talk about and some things, hopefully some coping tips for you during
Yes,
this season. During this season. And so let's just say it might not necessarily affect you in a certain way, but maybe it affects somebody that you know. So we are
yes.
definitely going to be talking about that today. So get your peeps, tell them to come in the room, start a watch party, like and share. If you're on, please go to my YouTube channel, Heads Up Mental Clarity, and because you can go there and like and share and click on the notification bell so that you can get notifications because I do other videos as well. Hey, Nicole Marie. Um, I do videos as well on different things. It just might hit me one day to do whatever. And so I might do a video. So please go on to YouTube as well. So we can go ahead and get started because what we do know is if people are not on this live, it is definitely going to be on Facebook and YouTube for them to go back and to visit. It'll be in our watch parties for people to go back and to visit. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Those of you that are on, we really appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and sharing this space with us. I am Michelle Bird from Heads Up Mental Clarity. This is my bestest of bestest friends, Stephanie. And we're going to be talking to you guys today. Let's go. Let's go. This is some girlfriend talk. So I think I want to start with what it is.
That would work.
Yeah, so let's start with what it is. Let's start with what it is. And really what it is it's a major depression that is associated with late autumn, um, early autumn, and winter, and thought to be caused by a lack of light. That's one of the causes that we'll be talking about. But it's kind of like this funk, I guess, if you will, that you get into. And it can be very subtle, like fall is don't, like we want fall to be subtle, but it's not. But it can be very subtle. It kind of like sneaks up on you,
Yes.
right? It can really kind of sneak up on you. So and I'll go ahead and let you elaborate on that stuff.
So yeah, it can start off as just being moody or irritable. Like I don't know
Mhm.
what's wrong with me. You know how you say that. I don't know what's wrong with me. Just I don't know what's wrong with me. And so it can start off in a just being irritable, not knowing why. You'll notice it as the nights get longer and the days get shorter.
Mhm.
As I posted in my Facebook post in Northeast Ohio, we have a high percentage of seasonal affective disorder because it's a great place anyway.
Mm.
Cleveland, like a little Germany, in my humble opinion. And so it's a kind of a great place, a Seattle type place anyway. So when the sun does not, the sun, the heat of the sun, the light of the sun is not on you or in your space, then it's a disorder that sneaks up on you. So you can be fine, but then like we had some cloudy days. Like today wasn't like a sunny day, but it wasn't really a cloudy day. But today could be a day for a seasonal affect disorder to manifest because we had really hard rains last night. It was
Yeah.
cold, and then we had today that the sun was kind of out, but it was still cold. It was a
Right.
little cold, but not too cold. We had to have a sweater on. But just the other day, like literally maybe 48 hours ago, it was like 80 degrees.
Yes.
So that creates this, your brain is like, what are we doing here? Like we've been chilling, and even though with Corona, we've been out and about enjoying the sun. First of all, being outside has been our saving grace with this
Yes.
pandemic. So now we're not being able to do that. So it's irritation, irritability. You may find yourself constantly ruminating on
Mhm.
experiences like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? You feel sleepy all the time. You want to eat lots of carbs.
Mhm.
You want just want to
In
just
that
like
cuddle stage, just kind of like nuzzling up
right.
under your
You want to
blanket,
nuzzle up under. Mm-hmm.
except
Yeah.
you don't want to get up.
Yeah.
You
And
can't
you're
get up.
and you can even have a foggy brain because of the carbs. It's like this
Mhm.
crazy cycle, but
Yeah.
because you're using the carbs to feel better, the pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks
Woo.
full of sugar. So, so you're drinking those and then you get the foggy brain
The
and
pumpkin
apple cider,
donuts.
which is my favorite. Huh? What you
The
say?
pumpkin donuts.
Pumpkin scones, apple cider, full of sugar with, remember those apple ciders we used to get before we got addicted to coffee?
Yes.
We used to get the hot apple ciders.
Yes.
Then we started drinking coffee. We went to the big leagues then, started drinking pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's a fogginess of the brains, and I'm saying this so that you don't feel like, what's wrong with me. It's probably seasonal depression. An
Yeah.
onset of it
Mhm.
is kind of, it's, I want to describe it as like, another friend of mine used to describe it as sliding into the soup. If you could just imagine just
Mm.
going is on the edge of a bowl and then just sliding down, and before you know it, you're like in this space like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Everything bothers you. We have people that have crying spells. They
Mhm.
cry for no reason. So crying is one of those. This an amazing sense of hopelessness is another
Mhm.
by a side effect or a symptom of seasonal depression. People who haven't had good experiences with holidays, they start to ruminate on how awful the holidays are going to be.
Mhm.
And so those are some of the signs to look for: sleepiness, sadness, you're eating a lot of carbs, you're kind of really irritable, like for no reason, you just irritable. And I like the word you use, a funk.
Mhm.
And then some people are just extremely sad. Like
Yeah.
I just woke up sad today.
And
Hence,
the other thing I want to add to that too is that, and you might not necessarily, you might feel like what's wrong with me, but you might not necessarily understand if you're not a person that suffers from major depression on a regular basis. Like,
yeah,
so that's kind of how it slips up on you as well, where you're like, why am I in the, and that's why I call it a funk. Why am I in this funk? What is wrong with me? Why, so we want to give some clarity so you understand that there's nothing like wrong with you. This is a thing. This is
it
definitely
is.
a thing. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's probably, I want to venture to say that we'll probably see a lot more of it because people have been stuck in the house, just
Yes.
period. And then now, just starting to come out the house, maybe in August, see, or whatever, feeling a little okay to
Mhm.
come out the house in August, a little bit of July for people who were really holding fast to their safety in this pandemic. So now you've been in the house since March. And now you can't open your doors and windows, but there ain't no sunshine coming in, and
Right.
it's kind of gloomy. And so uh, that will also exacerbate it, and I think that we'll probably be seeing a lot more clients with that challenge over
Another
the
thing
next
you
four
might
months
notice kind of with this working at home, for a lot of people that work at home, you
in the
don't
basement or in a room with no window.
Yeah, and or in a room with a window that's next to a building with no see, I look outside. It's next to a building with no light coming in that window. Um, but the other thing too is that's when we are able to kind of get up and and take that shower and put on those clothes because we're getting ready to go meet the world. And that's ended. Like, we're not doing that anymore. And we,
Right.
we're still getting up, we're taking our showers, but we are in front of the computer and
Yeah.
we can dress from the waist up because nobody can
Yes.
see. So it's like not having that push and that
Yes.
motivation to go get yourself. Because I just, whenever I'm in a funk, whenever anything like that is happening, if I get up and I dress up, then I show up, I feel so much better. But you're at
Mhm.
home in front of the computer where you don't have to dress up from head to toe. Make it a practice, do it anyway, but you don't
Do
really have
it
to.
anyway. Do it
Yes,
anyway.
yes.
Yeah.
You be
Do it
tempted to put
anyway.
on a cute little shirt or blouse and have your pajama pants on. My point is that at this time that we're in this pandemic and we can't really go outside, we are like, we don't have to get up and go out to work. For some of us, we're in the home. It's easier to kind of get complacent and unmotivated and not feel like you have the get up and go that you had before. And now
Right.
here comes sad. Now here
Mhm.
this season comes, right? So be mindful of that, because that can contribute to, we don't have to get up and spiffy up and put on the makeup and put on the clothes and do all those things.
I say
Um,
do it.
Say that again.
I say do it.
Absolutely. 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 And so but that can contribute to, those feelings that you can easily slip into that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's something that is not like this hard onset. Like
Right.
you just pay attention. One of the notes that I made is awareness. Like, just become aware of your
Mm,
moods. If your family members are saying, "What's wrong with you?" or "Are you okay?" Pay attention. Like, am I okay?
yeah.
Is something going on? Am I being affected by the lack of sunlight?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not separate in itself necessarily from major depression, right? So in our
Right.
DSM, you will see major depression and all the symptoms for that. But it is, I'm going to venture to say, it is separate in the sense that it comes on the onset. There's no hard onset, but it comes with the change of season.
Yes.
Comes
And
with
it
the change,
goes.
and it goes. And some of you might know what I'm talking about, because some of you might, I remember thinking, for myself and for clients and for people that I know that suffer with this, when it starts to, when it really, like, go ahead with the April showers. When we get past that and the sun really starts to shine, I feel this sense of relief, not just for myself, but for other people that I know that are going
Right.
through it. It's like, whew, okay. So now when people need to, we're therapists. So now when people need to be in therapy, we might be talking about something different, because it's like it's lifted. It's like the cloud has lifted.
Yes.
But just
Yes.
like that, during this time of year, I can see it starting to move in. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can see it starting to move in for people.
and
And
and and that's why I'm saying, because I'm recognizing, not just with SADs, but people are making some really harsh decisions in their lives right now. And it's because they've been in the house all the time, and now the sun is less sun. Same people I've been seeing in the summer. Now all of a sudden, life is really difficult. And it's the change. It's the change of not being outside. It's getting cold outside, and of course, we got school and all that stuff too. But
right.
it's a subtle disorder, but it's real, and we just really, really wanted to make the audience
Mhm.
aware of it, so that that it's a real thing, and that you're not, crazy. Or some people, I'm just depressed. But well, anyway, the beauty of this is that there's a ton of stuff you can do for sad.
Yes. Yes. One of the things one of the symptoms that are not necessarily listed for major depression, well, it says isolation. This isolation for SAD is a little bit different in that it feels
Yes.
like hibernation.
Yes.
It
So
feels
it's
like,
kind of fitting, because of the
right,
season. But
how cozy for the
right.
season, right?
Hmm.
And then wanting
Hmm.
and craving carbs, and so
Yes.
And so you might feel like, oh, it's just kind of cold. It's just kind of cold, or it's cozy. You want to nuzzle up. You want to eat extra, like you said, like you want, eat bonbons, eat cookies and ice cream, whatever. What you might even want to kind of like watch your favorite movies or whatever.
Yes.
And you don't feel like you're socially withdrawing. You just feel like I just want to hibernate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that could be the difference between the two as well. And so we want you to be aware of that. Um, and sometimes it kind of feels good in the beginning. I'm eating
It does.
carbs, I'm hibernating. It feels good in the beginning because carbohydrates make you feel good, right? Snuzzling up makes you feel good. This is bear season. I call this bear season. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
hibernating like bears, and eating all you can eat and things like that. So we want you to be aware of that. Um, and so we're gonna go. We want to. Anything else you want to add, Steph? Hey,
No,
Marion. Hey, Hey, Melaine. Hey, Melaine Burke. How are you? Oh my God, my sister. I'm so glad you're on. I am so glad you all are on, but I am like especially excited that she's watching today. Thank you so much for chiming in. Anything else, stuff you want to add to the
not
call?
to the symptoms, or cause.
Okay. Okay. So
Um,
also, if you guys have questions, drop them in the comments and we'll read them.
Please, yeah, we can make this definitely
Um,
interactive.
oh, I know what you want
Interactive.
to say. I really, and we want to make this interactive, you guys. We don't want to be on here. We want to give you the information, but I know somebody feel us, or somebody. If it's not you, somebody else that feel us and understand
You
what we're
got a
talking about.
friend.
You got a friend, right? If it's not you, it could be your friend. You can ask for somebody else. On Facebook, it's like I'm asking for a friend. Go on and ask for a friend, but ask questions.
Yeah.
What I do want to add to though is to check on your friends. Check on your really strong friends.
Yes.
Because not
But
everybody.
that's one of the things that, yeah, that's it. That's number one, please. Like, just like we check on the elderly during the summer when it's really hot, everybody wants to check on
Yeah,
the neighbors that are stuck in the house or whatever. Make sure you do that with, I think that, I think that everything has a, I don't know, spiritual, whatever. That it's amazing that the holidays come around this time because we are
mhm.
now intentional to connect with one another. At
Yes,
this time, we're intentional to make dressing and cobblers and pumpkin pies and all the yummy good stuff. Of course, we've also have harvest those things for those of us who have gardens.
mhm.
So once you harvest your garden, of course you cook a lot of food. And back in the day, you
Right.
cooked a lot of food so that you could store it to carry on through the winter. But I think that it's so perfect that
Mhm.
we have the holiday time around this time because it does accommodate us, reaching out to one another and connecting with one another and getting together. But for those people, if you notice somebody has kind of fallen off or
Yeah.
while you're in your day and someone crosses your mind, by all means, just, call, write a text, send a text, and just check in on people. And if you know anyone that is challenged with depression, check in on them every now and again. How you doing? And don't be afraid to say, how is the depression? You
Mhm.
know, it's okay to bring it up and it's okay
Right.
to normalize it because it is normal. It's something that happens to us and it's nobody's fault. It's brain work. That's what the brain does.
Mhm.
And so just to normalize that for the person and for you, just to say how's it going, how are you, if the person says, hey, I struggle with depression, symptoms of depression, you can mention to them, are you doing okay? I want to check in on you. I know
Yeah.
sometimes depression is a thing for you around this time of year. That is just is comforting to
Yes.
others when you do that. So please, by all means, check in on family members or friends, and especially people who may have just lost someone this time of year, where they
Mhm.
may never have dealt with sad before.
Right.
Sad before. This may be a time,
Right.
only
Yeah.
because the brain is wanting comfort.
Mhm.
The brain wants comfort. The body wants comfort. right now. And so yeah, so I definitely agree. Sorry to go on a soapbox about that.
No, that's good. No, that's absolutely okay. Absolutely. But yeah, that's, you scroll down on Facebook, and that's what I started to see symptoms of sad scrolling Facebook. And that's what I was like, this is a time of season to talk about that. People are entering into this season of depression, seasonal depression. And this is a time to talk about it. This might be a really good time to think about it, talk about it. But
Yeah,
yes, check.
because when we were on this broadcast 2 weeks ago, it was not dark outside my window. It's
Right.
dark outside my window right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're getting there. Yeah, the sun is setting. It's a little bit of light, but by the time I'm off of here, it won't be anymore.
Be dark,
Um,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's real. This is the time.
yeah.
Things are
And then
changing.
normalizing and mentioning it to someone just lets them know that you understand.
Yes.
A lot of times people isolate because they don't want to be a burden. They don't want to bother people. They think other people don't understand. They
Yes.
think people might think that they're whining or whatever the case may be. Your strong friend is suffering in silence
Hmm.
because the appearance and the outward appearance to everybody else is that that person is strong, and now they're suffering from this depression. And how could that be? So absolutely check on people and bring it up, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's definitely it's so important. That talking about keeping it 100. Let's just do that. Let's check on one another and be mindful. And that's where freedom comes from. You can set your friend free by letting them be okay with not hiding something like that. Because this is of all the disorders that we can help to manage, this is
This
a
is very
good one and easy. Yeah, it's just so manageable. I enjoy having to have this discussion because this is something you don't even have to come in and see us about. You
right.
just you
Right?
can just
This is things
yes.
you do. This is
Yeah.
things that you can do. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and we, and we'll talk about things that we can do in treatments for, but I know one thing is still getting outside and getting the light, getting a little bit
Yes.
that we do have, still getting out there and getting it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
You must think. Mhm.
if somebody's in a space where they're feeling down or sad or depressed. I'm like, go outside, just go stand on the porch, get some of the light that's out there, and you start to feel a little bit better. Yeah.
Every day you should walk in direct sunlight, even in the winter
Yes.
outside. I know it's cold. Put on your boots and take a walk for 5 minutes. I say 10 to 15 minutes,
Hmm.
but every day, even in the winter, you need to put sun on your face somehow, some way, and we'll talk about the little happy lamps because that's my
Yep.
favorite.
Oh my, yeah.
Um, uh, um, but and also if you can't get so say up here up north in Ohio, like we may not always get sunlight, but it's daytime, but it's not like sunlight. It's not like Kansas and it's not like Chicago because I'm telling you, Kansas and Chicago, even if it's cold, the sun will shine a little
Right.
bit. Um,
Right.
and so Kansas, the sun just shines. I don't think it knows that it's winter. But I do know that in Illinois, when I lived there, the sun shine and I just appreciate it. But home, the sun doesn't always shine here. So what I suggest for people who don't have like a lot of sunlight is to get into nature and walk in nature. So if you go to the Met, we have beautiful metro parks. Go to the metro parks, walk in the snow, touch the trees, the evergreen trees. Just get connected with life. If you
Yes.
can't get the sun, then connect with life. Touch life.
Yes.
Um,
I tell you,
it, it
people
does
come
work.
back and talk about how it worked. I have people walking in the forest preserve who's never walked in the forest preserve before to come back and say, "Oh my God, like that's my
Yeah,
saving grace right now, being
it
one with
is.
nature." For me, it's nature, all nature, but for me, it's like the water and the beach. It doesn't have to be the beach, just being able to see green and water, green and
Mhm,
wet,
mhm,
green and the
mhm,
water. Is
mhm,
just something about that, and I just believe that's all divine. I just believe
mhm.
it's divine. Yeah. Um, Another, let's talk about your lamps. Let's talk about the lamps. I say your lamps, but they're for all of us. Let's talk
Very
about
good.
the lamps when you cannot get out,
Yeah.
when outside light is not enough.
So there's these lamps. I call them happy lamps, but they're ultraviolet lamps.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have them in LED. They didn't have them in LED back in the day, but now they have like little LED bulbs or whatever. But they can let me see. They can come like this. They can come in the size that would go from a desktop to the right into your face because you want it right here. You always want the light right here at your face, so like that, so that your eyes are getting the sunlight. And
Mm-hmm.
the lights are wonderful. They come up to 10,000 lux, or you can get less than that. And so one of the things that with the lights is duration, the intensity of the light, which is 10,000 lux, is the top of the, kind of really intense, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to have it on that long. And so it's one of those things that you get up in the morning, you might want to like have your coffee, and this is not like anyway, get up in the morning, have your coffee, if you do your workout or whatever. But then when you're done with the workout, if you don't mind working out like in the dark or whatever, then you turn on the light, and then you let that light sit for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the intensity of the light. And it signals the brain that we're up, we're at it. They have a little warmth to them. Some of the lights have little shade plates that you can put on them. So you can do a yellowish shade plate, or you can do a white shade plate. And you can take them to your office if anybody works away from home. You can sit them
Yeah.
on your office. They have them so now nice and discreet, but they're really bright, and it just makes a major difference.
Yes.
And this is also for people who don't suffer from who just has major depressive disorder. These lights are phenomenal for you too. Because the lights, something about the UV light, and it's warm, the warmth of it on your face, just you just feel alive, and it's like amazing. It's like somebody giving you a shot in your arm, because you think, oh, this ain't working, and then you turn it off, and you just be bopping about your day.
Yeah.
um
And
and
you can get them
so
on
I
Amazon.
huh
You can get them on
what you say?
Amazon.
You can get them on Amazon. Yes, I love Happy Lights, and I think that every household should have one,
Mm-hmm.
because I think probably one person in every household can be challenged with this
Say,
unless you travel or go somewhere down south or whatever in the winter time.
yeah.
But it's yeah. So let me see what else I wanted to tell you about the lights. Um, It is trial and error. So you can get some that's not really they're not really expensive. So be mindful of what you're paying for. And I thought about it today, and maybe I'll give Michelle the list of the two that I have, the name of them. I don't have them with me. But they work. But it's definitely trial and error. I've had some lights that didn't really do anything, or I had to leave them on so long. And so I would sit at my work desk and do my desk work for like a half an hour, and let that light be on me, and then I turn it off. And then right around lunchtime, I would do it again, especially if there was no sun out. I would sit again at lunchtime. And let us know how if you try one, let us know how it worked for you. It's just amazing.
Once you
um
give the name, I'll drop it in the comment section of the live, and you can do the same with your stuff with your
mhm.
watch party. We'll put it in there so you guys can see,
Yeah,
because we can help. We rather help. Um, if we can help, we'd rather help rather than you doing trial and error if you don't have to, right? We can
right,
kind of
right,
recommend.
right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so this is not to take away from anyone who is prescribed antidepressants.
Thank
um
you for saying that.
So we're not saying stop taking antidepressants and do this. What we are saying is that this does help. You can do it in conjunction with your antidepressants. Make sure you're tracking the time that you use on the light. So maybe for the first week, if you only do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and take it up to 15, go up in increments, because you want to see how it's going to affect your face or how it's going to affect your skin. And you want it near your eyes, somewhere, but not directly in your eyes. So you want it like maybe to the side, like a sun shadow to your face. And but let your retinas are getting it. So if you were sitting in your, I have a lamp right here. It's just kind of like it's going across, like diagonally across from wherever you're sitting, so that it's kind of not like knee deep in your face, but close enough that you can feel the intensity of the light, like standing in the sun, I suppose.
Right. Yes. Yes. Disclaimer, we do not prescribe to be doctors. We're just telling you what works, what has worked for us or anybody that we might know. And so you got to find out of what we say what's going to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You
Mm-hmm.
got to find out of what we say what's going to work for you. Steph, I'm going to try the lamp. I have not tried the lamp. And Steph stands by the lamp because that's worked for her. What's worked for me is the vitamin D. I am not a doctor. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not telling you that you need to take vitamin D, but I can say, and I will say that perhaps you can get that level checked out. Right.
Please. Yeah.
Right. But for me, I didn't even know. Like when I tell you about like the irritation, the wanting to snuggle up, the exhaustion, the insomnia, and all those things, and going to the doctor just for a regular routine checkup. And then, of course, because of my age, they're going to draw blood and do all kinds of checkups, and then call me back to say, and so I don't know the real levels, but I'm going to give you an example. Like you really should be at a 12 and you're at a -7. I'm like, what? What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go
20,000 IU's.
50. I needed 50. And what that looked like was one 50,000 IU pill per day.
Yeah.
And when they give you medication or whatever, it's a supplement, but they give it to you and they only give you so many. That's
Mm.
serious. Like we only giving you 3, or we only gonna give you 5, and then you go and you take over the counter, and they told me how
Right.
many for so long.
Right.
We come back and we test it again.
Right.
It's important to check that level because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that come with vitamin D deficiency. A lot of
I
ailments can come with that.
a lot of illnesses, a lot of depression and anxiety. I think that all people who live up in the Midwest should have their vitamin D levels checked. If you don't get them checked annually, once you get them checked, your doctor tells you that your vitamin D levels are low, that should be just a regimen that you take for the rest of your life.
Yes,
And you're not going to get it in milk. So you need to take the
say
vitamin
that
D.
again. You are not going to get it in milk. Milk is
Shouldn't
not
even
even
be
the
drinking it, but that's my stuff, you know.
same. Milk is not even the same
Right.
anymore. Right.
Exactly. So,
Um,
get your vitamin D levels checked, please. Just go and go get a workup and get it. I mean, once they give, if you're forced to get a prescription, they'll give you the 7 or 10 or 14 day prescription, however many they give you in that prescription if you're very low. But then over the counter, you can get them over the counter, get a good quality vitamin D. And you can tell if you're not getting a good quality, because once you start having vitamin D and your vitamin D wanes off, you'll be like, I take
mhm.
my vitamin D. When's the last time I took my vitamin D? So now it's
Yeah.
just a part of
I
my
get
little
up
supplement.
and take vitamin D like I brush my teeth every day,
Yes,
all day, every day.
yes, yes,
You
all year
can,
long.
yeah. So if you often become sick, especially with colds or the flu, I did. And for me, what I thought was I worked in a school, and it's like it's a given. Every year I'm gonna have something because I work
Mm-hmm,
in school. There's
mm-hmm,
such a thing as working in a school and not getting sick.
mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
possible. It is linked to uh, deficiency. Bone density can lead to loss of bone density. If you don't have enough vitamin D in children, there's a thing called rickets that causes the bone
Yes,
to become soft. And so there's some ailments. And when they started to tell me like these, because I guess sometimes we don't really take it seriously or kind of like I don't feel sick.
yeah.
So
You don't feel
maybe I
sick
don't
with something.
necessarily take it seriously, or oh, okay. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I had to do a second go round because I was like, oh, okay, I did that, but I then was not keeping up with the routine every single day. And when it's time a couple years later to go back and be, have a checkup, then here we go back in the same spot. And the
Yes.
doctor was, you didn't do what I told you to do. And I was like, so that has never happened again. Also, it can be linked to vitamin D deficiency. It can be linked to respiratory tract infections, colds, bronchitis, pneumonia, things like that. So it is important. All of the minerals and vitamins that we should be producing within our bodies, and when we don't, we need supplements for them. We should take seriously. I want to read just a comment from one of our viewers, and I appreciate it. And she said, I've suffered from S.A.D for years. And she said the light doesn't necessarily work for her, but she's been on medication for years for depression and have learned to have a plan for the cold months. That is good.
I love it.
That is good. Have a plan for the cold months. Find a hobby. Hers is karaoke. Yes. Spend time volunteering, make breakfast, lunch dates with friends, spend time with my grandbabies, along with my medication. I make sure I take vitamin D, and she has vitamin D in all caps. You must have a good support system. Someone need to know what you're feeling and when you're feeling down. You should be and so that's really good. So thank you so much. She said that you should be at a 40, because I didn't know what you should be at. And she was like, and I'm telling you, when I say to you that I was at a negative something, I was at a negative something. But that's not what I went to the doctor for, because I didn't feel sick. You know, so you got to be careful about that. Where I can tell you, I'm not a doctor, and I can't tell you, oh, you must be vitamin D deficient because I have a degree in that, or because I have a medical license. What I can tell you as
our experience,
as a patient,
yes,
that was that was my thing, and I needed to do it, and I still take it. I take it like clockwork. I take my vitamin D. And so going into some other things that might work. Thank you so much, Erica. Going into some other things that might work. She hit it dead on the head. Have a plan for the cold month.
I love that.
We got to have a plan. And a plan means not just what you do in activity, but also like your schedule. We talk about this week after week in any subject that we're talking about, having a scheduled day. And so your plan needs to include eating healthy, because God has just put the stuff out there. It comes out the ground and all of that stuff for us to take care of ourselves as well. So making sure you take care, watch your calorie intake, get enough rest, exercising, what you're gonna do in those cold months. Like right now, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do before it gets too cold, because I'll walk 3.5 miles every day, or I bike. What am I gonna do when that's my form of exercise? Like I will do other exercises, but those two things I prefer to do. And what am I gonna do? I need a plan, so that when I can't do that, when it's too cold or it's too much snow, what am I going to do? Right. So we have to have a plan for when that comes up, and we know it's coming.
It's coming every year.
Every year it's coming. So when we know that, then we have to make sure that we're my word for the year is intentional. We got to be intentional about everything that we do, especially when it comes to our health. And some of the stuff and you'll notice, if you fall off one thing, everything else, like you said, it was cyclical. If you fall off one thing, you have fallen off all of the plan. The whole plan has been thrown away. Yeah.
But you can get right back on. You can get right back on. Yeah. You can get right back on. It does happen. Until you get into a crisis. I don't want nobody to get in a crisis, but people don't take their the health, and definitely we don't take mental health seriously until it creates a crisis for us, and then everything is spiraling out of control. So with the seasonal depression, it's my hope that this conversation can get you thinking about what to do next. I love, what Erica said as far as having a plan. Have a plan anyway for the winter, because the winter can be something else. So have a plan for the winter anyway. What you're going to do. I don't know if everybody else does this, but I think Michelle does it too. I don't know. But I take my clothes in and out. So I take all of my summer clothes out my closet, out my drawers. They are nowhere to be found. and put all of my winter clothes and my boots, because I love my boots. I'm ready to put on some boots. I was ready to put on boots last week. I got them out the closet. And when you're planning that, like even planning your wardrobe so that you're not so frazzled, because that's another thing when you have seasonal depression and you're doing other things, you think that's the thing that's bothering you.
Yes. That's what I'm like, going to school and getting sick. And I was like,
Right.
well, it's just these kids. Kids are germy, like they touch things that, and it wasn't that. Yeah.
Yeah. So plan
Uh,
everything for the winter because, well, not everything, but I mean, planning is just crucial. I think it is crucial for the winter because you can get caught up in a slump. Oh, it's cold outside. I'm not going outside. But when you know that you're going outside to shoot pool or going to the skating ring or going to do karaoke, you understand it is for your mental health. It
Yes.
has a different connotation for you and a different purpose for you, and then you can, you don't kind of talk yourself out of it.
And there should be in the winter months, there should be a limit to the winter snuzzling and watching movies because you could easily slip into that thinking
Mm,
like, because another thing that just dropped into my mind is that, when I would be off on breaks from the school, you got 2 weeks. We had so much time off, like 2 weeks for this and 4 days for that. And immediately in the 2 week time for Christmas break or the winter holiday, I am like pajamas, watching movies, snuggling up, and I could binge watch something. Like when
mm-hmm,
my brain is always going, and even today, my brain is always going, always going. When I get a break, I could binge watch a few seasons of something. You can
mm-hmm,
easily slip into that seasonal depression. So be careful. Because what I would tell myself is, well, I deserve it because I work and my brain is always going. So I
mm-hmm.
deserve it. So
And
I'm
it's
going
true.
to, yes. Yeah. So what I
It's
needed to
true,
do is
but
have
be
some type of break,
mindful.
have
Mhm.
a break
Yeah,
in between. Like
yeah.
get off the couch at some point.
Be intentional.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
true. It's
Be
true. I
intentional.
agree with you.
Have a really good support system. People
Please.
that know people that know you, right? That would know that you are isolating or that you are hibernating.
Mm-hmm.
People that will come into your space, people that'll give you space, but they'll also come into your space,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
And you
you're not
have to
gonna,
be transparent and let
yes,
people know. Give them permission.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So have a really good support system network of family and friends, and use that network, when you need them. Building positive things and plan, like you said, plan positive experiences, positive plans around daily, daily, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, think about your feelings, and like we said, don't isolate, don't try to bottle them up. Share with someone because it just it's helpful. A lot of people think that therapy can be this hard thing, but sometimes it's just really helpful to talk to somebody about how you feel.
That's it.
And in this situation where it's seasonal depression could be just a very temporary thing and might not necessarily be the major depression where you need medication. And if you do, by all means, see somebody to do that. But if you're not in that position, it's okay. Call your girlfriend. Like, I don't know what this is.
Right.
I am feeling funky right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, and then of course, balance the stresses. We got a lot of stress right now.
A lot.
Right, we got a lot of stress right now. So for those of you who suffer from major depression disorder or seasonal depression, now on top of that we have all of the
Mm-hmm.
other things that are going on. So be mindful. Erica said, I truly have a plan year round, but it took me years to figure out how to cope with it, how to cope with the diagnosis, and it might take you a little time, but don't stop, don't give up, don't give
Please
up.
do not give up. Because in the beginning of any type of well, let's just stick with depression, major depression, and SADS. Any type of diagnosis of that magnitude, or any diagnosis with our clients, it's hard to hold on to the fact that this is something that I can't control. And
Mhm.
so people have a difficult time managing the reality of it, that I can't control it. And we do things like we feel like, okay, especially like if I use my light and my light didn't work, then I try to find something else. But if I need an antidepressant, but I'm avoiding taking the antidepressant because I'm going to try everything else, that's me having a hard time accepting that maybe it's not just sad, maybe it's major depressive disorder, and I just need to go and talk to someone. And so it can be difficult, and you can tell yourself, I want to manage it. And I say, by all means, you try to manage it, but be open to other alternatives, be open to medicine. And it may not have to be medicine forever, but give yourself that break, because the different things that we said that you can try to alleviate some of the symptoms of SAD, and the same for major depressive disorder. You can take those opportunities and to medicate yourself and try to get yourself better. But if you need the help, go get the help. But
Yes.
I agree with Erica. It's very challenging to just like accept it, because I don't know what it says to people about it, to just accept it as if I'm just giving in to it. But when you're sad, or when you're in the soup anyway, you actually are giving into it anyway. It's that powerlessness. And so what people
Right.
do is they try to gain the power back by not having to take the meds. Some people take the meds and then they go off the meds, and they take the meds and they go off the meds, because they're just trying to maintain their own power. They don't want to, can't understand why something like this would be an experience for them. So I do understand that sometimes it's difficult to just accept something like depression, because it just feels like this utter deep dark sadness, and if I could just find happy,
Yes.
I'll be okay. And then happy seems like it doesn't come. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
when you kind of get into a space of acceptance, taking the different avenues that you need to take,
Yeah.
empowering yourself, getting with the best support system that you can have, being
Mhm.
honest with people, like, yep, this was going on with me. I'm not in
Right.
the mood today. You just kind of own it. And
Yeah.
there's a level of freedom and acceptance in that. And I definitely thank you for being so transparent and sharing that, Erica.
And I just believe too that and sometimes people feel an obligation to explain it, and you don't have to feel obligated to explain it to people.
Mm.
It is what it is. It's your business. You can take care of it, because for a lot of people it is very difficult, like you said. And so because of that difficulty, they don't do anything. Well, here's the
Right,
thing: you can do something, and you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing.
right.
You don't have to do that. If you need to take care of it, if it's something, and I would um, prescribe therapy, because that's
Hmm.
a whole nother issue to talk about. What you're feeling, and why you're feeling that it's a stigma and you can't talk to people about it. But there is nothing in the rule book, wherever that is, that says that you have to tell people everything. We do want you to share, or the people that you trust, that you
You
can
have,
talk
yeah.
to and share how
Hmm.
you feel, right?
Right.
You don't necessarily got to
Because
go.
they help you to stay safe. Those are the people you tell. The people that are helping you to stay safe. Not just
Yes,
people because they're people.
right. Yes. And
People who are
sometimes,
committed to helping you stay safe.
right. And sometimes people just won't. And let's be clear. Not everybody who is committed to not everybody who is close to you are committed to keeping you safe.
No.
Some people want to know.
Just want to say that. Can you just like see, like, can we just like rest and hear that truth? It's truth.
Some people yeah. So and you know who they are.
Yes.
And you know who they are. So choose the people who do want to see you safe.
Yes.
But what I
Yeah.
don't want people to do is to shy away from what they need because they don't
Yes.
want to tell anybody, or they feel the need that they have to tell somebody they're taking medication or whatever. You don't.
Mm-mm.
What you have an obligation to do is take care of yourself.
Yes.
That's what you owe yourself. Take care of yourself. And we want to get across. That's what we want you to know, that it is
Right.
okay, that there is an explanation for how you feel. It is okay to let people that are close to you that want to care for you in. You should always have somebody on standby anyway,
Mm-hmm.
because on the best day, we are not doing the best
Right.
times, and we need to
Right.
call a friend and say, "Listen, I'm not okay." Right? It's
Mm-hmm.
okay not to be okay, and to share that with someone that really cares about you, that can help you get back to where you need to be. Okay. And so I want to give you that, because I hear that so much. But what are people going to think? Or I have to explain. And
Yes.
um,
Yes.
um, you're just obligated to take care of yourself.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's
That's
it.
it.
So we want to make sure. I feel like the preacher now. I think I said something, but you're not obligated to share your business.
You're not. You're
So
not. You're not able to.
understand.
You're not obligated to tell anyone anything that you. Well, anyway, I don't think we have to tell grown people that, but just so you know,
Yeah.
you're
And
not.
so
You're
I
not.
just
You only want
say
an
that.
explanation about your diagnosis or why you're taking medicine, and why you're doing this, why you're doing that. I used to take my lamp to work, and
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Stephanie got a lamp. Well, whatever. I'm different, so whatever. But I took my lamp to work. I have one for work and one for home. That's why I have two. But
Right.
it's my
Yeah.
survival. I'm in a biz in an office with no windows. You want me to sit in front of this lamp?
Right. Yes.
I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
but
Um,
anyway, it just cracks me
oh,
up when
y'all,
I
let's
think
take
about.
a breath. Let's take a breath. Take a deep breath. I hope you guys enjoyed the information that we have given you. And I hope that you're able to use it to your benefit, and or help someone else who might need this information to use it to their benefit. Um, any other questions and stuff? Do you need to add anything, or you want to add anything
No,
else?
we talked about treatment, the UV ray light. If you're already prescribed medicine, please take it. See your doctor about the vitamin D levels.
Hmm.
Try to get out in nature as often as possible. Hug a couple of trees, and
For sure, hug a couple of trees for sure.
and
Like literally, I challenge you, hug a tree.
you say what? What did you
So
say?
literally, I challenge you literally to hug a tree.
Oh, I definitely challenge you to hug a tree. You'll be
And so
right back. Yeah.
this is just a little crazy that my girlfriend and I let you in on, because yeah,
I was like,
we're not
"Go ahead,
normal.
go ahead."
We're not
No,
normal.
you're not normal. No, we hug trees.
No.
Yes, trees talk to us too. But
Yes. Again, we want to thank Erica for her transparency, because there's somebody
yes,
else out there who needed to hear that, that was not able to share, but needed the information anyway. So we appreciate you for that, Erica. And you guys
yeah.
keep seeing me down, because I have a different device that I look on to make sure that I'm addressing, if people are asking questions and addressing their questions. So
And you can see
yeah,
them because I keep looking over at mine and I'm not getting any.
I
So you
can.
can see the people coming in. Okay.
Mhm. I can see them. Thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by, um, our
Yes.
our corner today. If you
Hmm.
have not seen on my page or Stephanie's page the invite, please take a look at the. Did you do that girlfriends thing yourself?
No, I remember I was buying us some cups and then the cups never came. I spent my money. But I
Yeah,
designed, had put the design the thing on there, and I had sent you to you like, we like those cups, and I ordered the cups, and I was like, well, they didn't send me my cups, so
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
use this because I
We
made it,
get,
made the little
gonna
design
get
and
those made. We gonna get those made, but I love it. I love that. And
hey,
it is definitely you and I. So thank you
I
guys.
know, right?
You can reach me. Please, again, like, share, go to YouTube, click on the notification bell so you can get notifications, like and share there as well. You can catch me as usual, as you know, on Psychology Today, Facebook as Michelle Wallace Bird, Instagram, Mrs. Bird LPC, Heads Up Mental Clarity on YouTube. and on chicagocompasscounseling.com. You can reach me at those places, and you can also send me a message on Facebook. And if you need to talk and you don't have my number, if you have my number, please give me a call. And Steph, where can we reach you?
Psychology Today, and Facebook, of course, Stephanie Stevens McCain, and Instagram, SM McCain MFT. Let's talk MFT at gmail.com, and Lamplight Counseling Services in Independence, Ohio.net.
Yes. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Steph. Until one other thing I wanted to say really quickly. I will always try and put out, if we're not going to do every single week, please do give us some grace and mercy if we don't do every week, because we have a lot going on sometimes. Yes, yes, we do. So but we won't go more than like every other week. We
Every
won't
other
go
week, yeah.
like the other week. Right. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Steph. Until
Thank
next time.
you. All
All
right.
right. Bye bye.
Namaste. Bye.
Namaste.